ESPN put out their NFL executive bold predictions for the upcoming season.
NFL executive, not ESPN predictions.
No, these are ESPN reporters who talked to NFL executives who gave them bold predictions. The most bold was Lamar Jackson gets traded to Vegas. And down the list, you could find one that said either Cleveland or Miami will bring in Malik Willis this summer. The new general manager in Miami and their new head coach both come from Green Bay, where Malik Willis played this season. But we're not the Ultimate Miami Sports Show. We're the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. So, Dustin.
Yes.
Where do you fall on the Malik Willis debate? If the Browns were somehow to bring in Malik Willis via free agency this summer, would he be an upgrade over what they currently have in the quarterback room? Or have you not seen enough and believe it's way too early to be able to make any kind of determination on what kind of quarterback Malik Willis actually is?
I mean, I saw this guy play a couple of quarters this year, and that was against the Ravens, the game he started that game, I believe, right?
He's started one game this year, played in 4. He started 6 in his career. He's thrown 155 NFL passes in 4 years.
Yeah, can I say that he's an upgrade? No, I can't say he's an upgrade because I don't know. I mean, he's barely played. Like Boulder said, 6 starts. I mean,
yeah,
Shador's got 7, right?
Right. Shador started more games
basically,
than Malik Willis has.
If you want to bring him in here to compete, sure.
Yeah, I wouldn't consider that no crazy upgrade like that. It's just, again, like you talk about it, we're looking at sample size. 6 games. He was a 3rd-round pick. You know what I'm saying? Has some athletic traits. I liked him coming out of Liberty. But if you feel like that is an upgrade, I don't see where that's coming from. I mean, it's a long shot, bro.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to end up most likely with Hafley in Miami.
Right.
Unless somebody says we're just going to overpay based off of what they think he's going to be, or because they don't want him to go to Miami and end up with Hafley. That's the only way he gets paid by somebody else. I mean, no one's going to pay him off production. The production's not there.
I think if you're the Browns, bringing in another quarterback to compete, like you already have a messy situation. Why make it messier? I'm not bringing in another quarterback unless I'm fairly confident he's going to be my starter. And I don't see that guy being out there right now. Like, could Malik Willis turn into a decent quarterback? Why not? Sure he could. But so could Shador Sanders. I don't know that I might as well stick with Shador Sanders rather than Malik Willis. To me, they're both equally like, it's possible. We don't know. I don't know. Like, I'm not saying Malik Willis can't be good. I'm not saying Shador Sanders can't be good. Deshaun Watson, I think, is at this point might be the biggest long shot because he has, even though he's been obviously way more accomplished than those guys, he hasn't been good in 5 years. It'll be 6 years by next year. So they're all like question marks. I don't want to bring in a third question mark.
Yeah,
I'm not interested in that.
I just think right now, like, this is what happens sometimes when you talk yourself. You know, when people tell you, like, yeah, this is the year they're going to switch the quarterback. This is the year we're going to find the quarterback. Sometimes it don't work out that way. It looks like the quarterback is not going to be in this 26 class. There's a 1 quarterback class. You look at your roster, and you got Shador Sanders, who is a guy who you need some seasoning, a dude who you need to put some stuff around and to continue to see him grow. If you want a reclamation project or you want somebody to see if you can kick the tires, you got one of the most expensive reclamation projects in Deshaun Watson sitting right there. He has guaranteed money, and it's not coming off the books anyway. By the way, if you want a guy that you can see or you got a backup, Dylan Gabriel's still there. They used a 3rd-round pick on him. The uncomfortable thing that people just got to come to the conclusion with is it looks like the Cleveland Browns are pretty much going to have the same quarterback room.
I don't think so because, I mean,
I'm just looking for.
There may be something that we're not thinking about.
Maybe.
We weren't thinking about Deshaun Watson when they traded for him.
So if
I don't know what's going to happen, but I can't imagine it's going to be the same quarterback.
If I had to look at the tea leaves, I'm just looking at it. They done already said they're not getting rid of Watson's contract.
Well, they haven't said that. They didn't say that. It's been reported.
I mean, I just look.
The only way I'd bring in Malik Willis is if I was getting rid of either Watson or Sanders. Otherwise, I don't see any point in bringing him in.
Here's the thing. I'm not taking a cap hit to take Malik Willis, and I don't even know if he's better than Deshaun.
Right. It does. Right.
I don't know.
I don't know. I just can't imagine that it's going to be the same 3 quarterbacks next year. I don't know what's going to happen. There may be something we're not even thinking about, but I'll be surprised in the end if it is.
I'm surprised Malik Willis is getting as much buzz as he has from some people around the league and media
It's
that I
strange,
think
yeah.
are usually
Very strange.
usually pretty smart, and I tend to agree with them in a lot of ways. But I mean, Malik Willis has played so little. I don't know how anyone.
Right,
can
and
be that
it wasn't like he was a first-round pick that didn't get a chance.
He must be a really impressive guy behind the scenes.
Yeah, I guess so.
And those are the things we don't know. We don't have access to that information. But
if you're
the league's a tight circle, and people talk. You know,
if you're another team that doesn't have any young quarterbacks with any potential, then why not take a chance?
And there's always like that one or two of those guys out there that are the highest paid backups. Who can be starters,
right?
But they're not going to get paid like a starter,
right?
You know what I mean? They're going to make that $8 to $15 million range per year. And I think he's that next guy that's going to be in that mix. I mean, for a while it was Jameis Winston was bouncing around, was getting all that money to the $10 to $12 million range because
but he was 1-1.
He was a first round pick. He was the number one overall guy.
Right.
You know, the talent was there.
I think, but if Malik Willis went to Miami, I mean, he could end up being the starter next year.
That compete with Quinn Ewers, right?
Yeah.
That's a better overall mix, right?
Yeah.
Because now you got Quinn Ewers, you already have he's a 6th-round guy. You got the high-priced guy in Tua who's injury prone, and you bring in Malik Willis to figure out if something else goes wrong, he maybe compete. For me, I just think the Browns need to learn from their mistakes. We kind of did this less than a year ago. We brought in Flacco, the veteran. We wanted a reclamation project in Kenny Pickett. We drafted a young guy who we thought was a developmental project in Shedeur Sanders. And then we drafted another guy who we thought could be a higher ceiling backup type guy in Dylan Gabriel. That turned out disastrous.
It did. I think the Browns, I feel like their whole last year, they were very wishy-washy as to what their plan was.
Yeah.
What is the plan? Okay, the plan's got to be, do we either try Watson again or go with another veteran because we want to win as many games as possible? Do we think Shedeur Sanders or Dylan Gabriel has real potential to be a good starter in the league? And if so, let's get behind them and give it a shot. If we don't like any of those ideas, well, then you got to try something else. But you got to have it was like they weren't sure what the plan is. Remember, you didn't even mention Kenny Pickett there. Yeah. And you had these 4 different options, and it was too much, and they screwed up the whole thing.
And you never what I respect from people is be strong and have some conviction. If you feel like, at least if you said to the fan base, you know what? Deshaun Watson, we felt like he got hurt. We feel there's something there. You may get laughed at. People may look at you crazy, but at least there is a little conviction to it. If you said, listen, we like what Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur did last year, we think one of those can be a future quarterback. You know what? You would stand on it.
Yeah.
If people may disagree with you. People may say, I don't think so. I think this guy ain't it. But at least you would have a situation where the organization has a clear path and saying we standing on this type of time in this business. I just think that when you try to do a bunch of different things and that ain't gonna work, man. You gotta figure something out.
For most of the last 20 years, outside of obviously a couple of years with Baker, for most of the last 20 years, the Browns have gone into training camp uncertain as to who their quarterback was going to be. And that's most likely going to be the case again next year. And when you go into the season uncertain about your starting quarterback, you're almost always going to have a bad season. And that's been the case almost every year.
It's like I told somebody, it's almost like being engaged for more than 5 years. If you engaged for more than 5 years, what you waiting on, dog?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
You're not sure.
You ain't sure.
Yeah.
So I get the 6 months out of the way and start planning for these weddings.
Yeah.
Because what I would like to happen is I want to bring the new coordinator in, and my thought process is if I got confidence in who I'm hiring as a coordinator and I believe in those guys, I also have to believe that they are going to get the best versions out of those guys that I have in my room.
Sure.
And if they don't, if we put our cars behind somebody for 2026 and it don't work, guess what you get the opportunity to do? I guarantee this. If Shedeur Sanders played in 2026, they put everything around him, gave him pieces and parts, and it didn't work out. There is no excuse for nobody, whether you support him or not, to say, I see why the Browns got to go in 27 to get a quarterback. No. And everybody in the fan base will be like,
you're wrong.
Well, listen, I mean, some people.
I think some will come around like you,
I
but
mean,
there's always going to be the diehards.
But there will be people that will support him, and maybe it don't work out. But what I'm saying to him is, 2026 people be acting like they're going to give something to somebody. No, 2026 is just an opportunity to prove that you can be somebody going forward. We ain't giving nobody the job. So that's where we're at right now. And I want to see, because look, hey, they're going to be in a competition or do whatever they need to do. But don't go out here and go get these 5-6 other dudes and
don't decide on
the
quarterback 10 days before the season.
Right.
Because then you're going to lose.
Yeah, let's put some things together.